I'm sorry, what operator? What?
M30.
Yes, I'd like to know how the police department can help with the domestic violence person in a domestic violence crisis that is stalking.
You want to know how the police department can help with what?
A woman in a domestic violence crisis that involves stalking, cyber crimes.
It depends on what's occurring. What
Well, can I
specifically
give
is
you my
happening?
information and you can look it up because I reported it numerous times and never got a call from an investigator.
You have the report number?
Can I give you my name?
No, I would need the report number.
Okay, let me give you the report number that you asked for. I don't know why you can't use my name, but I'll get to the report number. One moment. It's 2300-92688. That's what I think it is when I reported the stalking. I've made multiple different reports and no one has done anything. So I'm just trying to get education on what the police responsibilities are. That way I know if there's misconduct going on.
Okay, give me 1 second while I look it up.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I was told that there was a detective mask and another G something. Now the detective has disappeared.
So there's an officer Guadarrama, but he's not a detective, and I don't know who Mask is.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand. So the police are still tampering with evidence when it comes to stalking. The stalking report that was never assigned to an investigator. That's a felony charge.
So again, I
I'm
don't
just
know what
trying
the
to get
next
clarity,
process
ma'am,
is.
because I keep getting redirected years to conceal these felonies that have wrecked up. Okay, so I called you. I called you, ma'am. I've been calling out. My calls are so abusive, ma'am, repetitively. Okay, so what I'm trying to see is with the stalking situation, it was not signed to an investigator, which is a felony crime to tamper with evidence and conceal stalking. Is that what you said happened?
That is not.
Okay, so I reported stalking, but they didn't assign that one to an investigator. Is that what you
Are you
said?
going to let me speak, ma'am? And answer
I
your
just want
question?
clarity, real quick, ma'am. Did you
Yes, but
say
if you
that they
don't
did
let
not?
me answer, I can't give you
I get
clarity.
gaslit, ma'am. I don't understand why you won't answer my question that I asked and why I have to wait for
Because
to
you won't
disregard
give
that
me a
question.
chance to.
Sure, this is a pattern, ma'am. I just experienced this. Go ahead, ma'am.
Are you ready for me to answer?
Sure.
Okay, I am a civilian. I don't have full access to all the information. So if you'd like to speak to somebody as to why your report is or is not assigned to a detective, I can give you the phone number for internal affairs.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. I'm calling to get information on what my report that I just gave you. You don't want me to know if it was signed to an investigator because that's a felony charge. So you're redirecting the conversation and passing the buck to internal affairs.
So if that's what you heard, I can't do anything about that.
I
I'm
just
letting
I
you know
called
I'm a
in, ma'am,
civilian
and
and I
gave you
don't
a
have
report
access.
number and wanted to know what was going on with the report for stalking. You told me it wasn't
I
signed to
do
an
not have
investigator, and now you're taking it back.
I do not have access.
So now, if you did not say it wasn't investigated because that's a felony charge, you didn't say that it wasn't an investigator assigned. Now you're saying contact internal
That
affairs to
I
get.
don't show on my end an investigator assigned because again, I am a civilian.
Okay,
So if you
well,
want to
I
speak
wanted to
to
know how the police.
somebody about this,
So
you can talk to
first,
internal affairs.
okay, I
If
don't
not,
understand why I
I'm
would
going to
call internal
disconnect.
affairs if
I have
is a possibly an investigator assigned. That doesn't make sense.
I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the line, ma'am, since you're not wanting to hear my explanation.
Ma'am, I asked about the status of that report number, and you're wanting
And
me
I
to
cannot
contact
give you
internal
that.
affairs to get it.
Correct,
I want
because
to
I
speak with your
cannot give it to
supervisor,
you.
ma'am. I want to speak with someone
What
else.
is your name?
What is my name? You just supposedly looked up that report number. You claim.
Okay, I don't know what you don't understand about. I don't have full access.
I'd like to speak
So
with
what is
a
your name?
supervisor, ma'am. It's Kiana,
And so that, okay,
Keyana.
hold on.
So it's procedural. This is enforced that you don't stay in a crisis 5 years if you're not doing some really despicable things behind the scenes. And for someone's already got paid to have me homeless. They already got paid to keep me in jail, so I lost my car, an apartment, play games with my job, so I lose that. I don't know what's going on with this job that I had to interview for that she's ducking and dodging me now.
Communication supervisor, can I help you?
Yes, I gave this. I'm sorry, I don't know her information, but I gave her a report number, and she told me that a detective wasn't assigned. That she told me to call Internal Affairs, and then she said that she couldn't look it up. So I'd like to know if a detective was assigned instead of having to go to Internal Affairs. I wanted to know how police could help someone in a domestic violence crisis because they're not doing it.
It was a domestic violence.
Right, and it's stalking. They keep covering for it, and I'm trying to get the evidence so that people get their felony charges. She said that they didn't assign a detective for that one. And I'm trying to establish the pattern of these police officers covering for stalking, which is a felony charge. Multiple different departments. Let's not sugarcoat it. These felonies are racking up.
So the police officers are covering for something?
Well, let me give you the report number and let's see what you see. You ready for the report number?
I can't tell you what I see.
Oh, you can't tell me if a detective is assigned now?
I can tell you that, but I can't
Oh,
tell
well,
you.
that's what I want to know. That's what I'd like to know.
My operator already told you there wasn't a detective assigned to the case,
She
correct?
told me, no, she said that she could not see everything. When I told her that's a felony charge, that they were tampering with evidence and denied me investigation for the stalker, she said contact Internal Affairs and retracted. So now you do, I definitely see that for the stalking, they denied me investigation for the stalker, that felony charge.
She also said there wasn't a detective assigned to the case, and that's also what you said when I answered the phone.
I don't know if I'm in a domestic violence crisis. Why call to call to call has to be like this? Spoofing calls. That's criminal, right, ma'am?
What's criminal?
Spoofing calls.
Spoofing calls?
Spoofing calls, yes. Controlling calls and spoofing them. Calling all over the United States and get people that are rude, hang up in your face, and cover for crimes. So if someone spoof calls, what kind of charge is that?
I don't know, ma'am.
Okay, well, I need to be able to report spoof calls and crimes with the police were covering for the stalker and committing crimes, tampering with evidence in the reports.
So if you're trying to report something that officers are doing wrong, then you need to call Internal Affairs.
I've called Internal Affairs, ma'am. I'm not getting anything established. I'm trying to get off this hamster wheel that I've had to endure 5+ years. It's time that it ended. I don't think that I've been taken seriously. Getting handcuffed, pushed, and shoved, violated, lied on by a multitude of people, even family. People have not taken into consideration for my experience and what I've been through. And it's about time that it ends, ma'am. So I'm calling the police because I'm getting stopped, and they're once again tampering with evidence covering for him, which is a felony charge. So how do I report it to get something done? How do I report the hack phone to get protection against not being able to use my phone calling around in crises? My daughter was hit in the environment that she's in multiple times and had bruises. And I just have to sit in that, and her as well, of psychological abuse. She cried because she missed me, and her stepmom said she was going to give her away to CPS. Hello?
I'm still here.
I'm not understanding why I hear background noise of what's happening.
Because I'm in an office in a communications division. So
Oh, okay.
There's multiple people here doing different things.
Okay. So, ma'am, I'm not quite sure. I've been to the FBI, handcuffed and forced to leave. Police came there. I've been to the DOJ, bullied and violated there. I went to multiple different FBI locations in Tyler, mistreated, Dallas, mistreated at the one in Waco, wrote all over, could not get my mail at a post office. I just never seen corruption to this degree, ma'am, that has been ignored year after year. I am tired. Something needs to be done. How would you feel if someone forced you to be homeless and away from your kids that you missed and loved dearly? I've called multiple different places trying to get shelter. It's sabotaged. They said they were going to call me back. Some of them were claimed that they were full. All domestic violence locations claimed that they were full. But I tried to get in other shelters and didn't get the call. What if someone just took your right from you away and forced you to be homeless? Took each time you got on your feet, arrested you and took everything that you got. That happened to me twice. So obviously, no one is going to do what they need to do until they get accountability, and I'm trying to help you guys get it. So what are you recommending I do, ma'am? Calling the police department because all other help has been sabotaged. What, taking a party's right to get law enforcement I thought was criminal, out of corruption and abuse. Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
I call the police to report crimes, ma'am.
Correct. And you're reporting officers covering up and all this other crimes that officers and police entities are committing, correct?
I just want to get law enforcement, and I've done everything that I can in my power to try to get it, and still have not received it. And covering up for the stalker, or the stalker repetitively over and over different departments, is felonies, and I just don't have. I'm not getting these situations addressed. Interrupting me getting legal to keep me away from my child, just because someone wants to get their money's worth and keep me away. They want to make sure that they are never investigated and commit all these crimes left and right, free and clear of the felonies that they've racked up. So I'm calling now to do a report, since that stalking report, the crime was committed and it wasn't investigated. I'm trying to report it again.
Okay. What's your name?
It's
Have somebody from the department that's over your case give you a call back, okay?
I think that, can they, even though it's not safe for me, can they come out? I mean, if they detain me this time, that should be, or bully and mistreat me, it'll be evidence that they're behind my abuse.
Okay, I don't know about all that. All I can do is send your information and have them call you.
Okay, you don't know if they can come in person?
No, I do not.
Okay.
I'm sure that can be arranged, but that's something that they'll have to discuss with you.
Okay. I'm just trying to get off this hamster wheel, ma'am. Not going anywhere for all these years. I want this to end. I don't deserve it.
I understand that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.